Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Amara Abara, and I'm shooting this video as part of my series Road to $1 Million. So if you're coming across me for the first time, I'm documenting my journey of scaling a supplement brand from $0 to $1 million. And the reason I'm doing this is to share all the wins and losses, all the learnings with you so you can apply them to your e-com business. So do consider subscribing if you'd like to come along for the journey. And this particular video is going to be focused on how you can pick a niche for you. So a niche that's going to help you get to the riches. And what I'm going to help you do is to break down how I've done mine for my brand, how I've picked a niche for my brand so that you can simplify the process for yours as well. So let's jump in, shall we? So why is it important for you to pick a niche? Why don't you just have a general store and sell everything under the sun? Well, I'm going to go back to a video I watched with the OGs, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett. And someone was asking them the secret to their success. And without skipping a beat, both of them said focus, right? You know, it's quite uncanny that both have just mentioned focus at the same time. And I believe there's something to it. Actually, there must be something to it because they're, billionaires, right? So it's important to focus on something and really get good at it, because when you focus on it, what you're going to do is compound the learnings. I believe, someone said that, the eighth wonder of the world is compound interest. And I believe that applies to every area of your life. So compound interest in your business, in your relationships, but also in the learnings you get from focusing on one niche. So someone that's trying to sell everything under the sun is going to be dispersed in terms of where their attention and focus is. But someone that's focused on a particular area, in a particular market, is going to be compounding their learnings. They're going to be seeing the nuances in that niche and reapplying them, because they're going to be applying and testing the lessons they're getting back into their business. Another quote that I love that illustrates the importance of focus is by Confucius, and it goes like this: a man who chases two rabbits catches neither. And I think if Confucius was doing a masterclass on picking a niche, what he probably would say is that if you want to get to the bag, you want to follow one rabbit. So you just chase one rabbit. So what I want to do in this video is share exactly how I picked my niche. And I'm not saying this framework is the best framework for picking a niche, but hopefully it should give you some ideas on how you should go about picking yours. So in terms of picking a niche, what I would say you should do is to just think about, what you're interested in. What are your passions? What are your interests? And I think this is probably not a very popular approach to doing it, because most people would try to dig into the data, look at Google Trends, go into the keyword planner and figure out what's trending. And there is a place for that. But I think it's better to start with what your interests are. And the reason you want to do this is because you're going to be in this for the long haul, right? And at some point in time, you're probably not going to be very high energy. You're going to be feeling a bit tired, but you're going to need that passion and interest to drive you forward. So it's best to pick a niche that you're interested in. And the way I would go about this is by looking at your bank statements, right? What are you spending money on right now? So the reason I've got into supplements is because I love health and wellness. I'm into biohacking. I'm into optimizing every aspect of my health to enable me boost my performance, right, in every area of my life. So that's why I've got into health and wellness. That's why I've got into supplements, because I spend a lot of money on supplements. So I know that area. So, this may not apply to you, right? So you may be into something else, right? You may love cars. So you probably want to get into, like things that have to do with cars. So look at your bank statement. Where are you spending the most money on right now? So what you want to do is focus on what you're interested in to pick a niche. And in terms of that, let me just back up a little bit. In terms of picking a niche, I would say focus on the intersection between a market that you know really well based on your interests and where there's a desire in the market, right? So a market that you know really well based on your interest and where there is a desire. So we just talked about a market that you know really well based on your interest and perhaps your work experience. Now, let's talk about where there is a desire. And this is one that's usually overlooked. People overlook this one. You've heard stories about people who would go into a niche, with zero demand, and they wonder why they're not selling anything. So if you're into underwater basket weaving, right, I doubt there'll be many people who are looking for baskets that were weaved underwater. So there is a quote that I love, and I'm just going to grab a book in a second and I'm going to read it to you to help you understand the importance of making sure that you're picking a niche where there's actually a desire, where there is a demand already. You're not trying to create a demand. There is a demand there and you're trying to tap into it, right? So one second. So I highly recommend this book by Eugene Schwartz. It's called Breakthrough Advertising, and it's a must read for anyone who's trying to get into business or, marketing, anyone who literally wants to sell their products should read this book. And in the first chapter, there is a snippet here that I think would illustrate the point of making sure that there is a desire for the niche, for the products in the niche that you're going into. And it says here, let's get right down to the heart of the matter. The power, the force, the overwhelming urge to own that makes advertising work comes from the market itself, not from the copy. So in this case, you could substitute copy with marketing or advertising. Copy or marketing cannot create desire for a product. It can only take the hopes, dreams, fears, and desires that already exist in the hearts of millions of people and focus those already existing desires onto a particular product. This is the copywriter's task, so the marketer, the entrepreneur, not to create this mass desire, but to channel and direct it. Actually, it would be impossible for any one marketer, entrepreneur, to spend enough money to actually create this mass desire. He can only exploit it. And he dies when he tries to run against it. So this basically illustrates the importance of, when you figure out what you're interested in, where your innate sort of interest lies, and you want to get into that sort of niche, make sure that there's actually a demand for it. There's actually a desire for it. So you can channel that desire to your e-com store and satisfy it, right? So we've talked about the importance of making sure that you're operating, your niche is operating between the intersection of your interests and where there is a desire in the market. And when you're thinking about your niche, don't just think about the products, right? Don't just think about product categories. What you want to think about are, where are the problems, the pain points that are in your area of interest? I'm interested in human performance optimization. So some of the pain points that may exist in that market could be related to, for example, brain fog. If you eat the wrong things, you get brain fog. So could there be supplements that could cure that? Or it could be related to, performing in the gym, having the energy and making sure that you've got the infrastructural integrity, in your joints to perform at the gym. So these are pain points that require solutions to them. So what you want to do is focus on where there are problems in the market and how your product is going to transform the lives of those people to get them to where they want to be, right? So you want to look at where they are and how your product is going to be the transformational vehicle that's going to take them to where they want to be. And when you focus on that, when you focus on the problems, not the product, you're going to find that there are an infinite number of niches that you can operate in, right? Because there are an infinite number of problems. So I'd say focus on the problems and how you can transform people in that market to take them to where they want to be rather than products. So I hope you found that useful. I hope that got your creative juices flowing so that you can start brainstorming some niches to go into, or a niche to go into rather. And, I believe that once you pick the right niche, you can learn any skills required for you to scale your brand, right? Required to run your business, be it Facebook ads, setting up your e-com store. If you can't learn it, you can always outsource it. But just focus on areas of your interest and making sure that there is a desire in the market for the problems you're solving. All right, on to the next video. Take care.